Heinz doing, and welcome back to Two Jagoffs. I am your host, Austin Carnes, joined here with
Lucas Kins.
And welcome back to Two Jagoffs, and welcome to Hall of Fame or NAW. This is the game show episode where me and Lucas both have 10 athletes each, and we are going to determine whether or not they are Hall of Famers or NAW. Now, we have a lot of new listeners over the last month or two of us doing Two Jagoffs, so I'm going to explain the rules again and explain the inspiration on how this game show exactly came about. I used to have a teacher back in 7th grade, Mr. Istic. Shout out to my man, Mr. Istic. Great math teacher. Was always fun. And he had a game that he played in his class called Proportional or NAW. And this was our way of learning whether or not a number was proportional or not. So his version of it was proportional or NAW, and it always stood out. We actually played it again around Christmas break over a movie, just how fun it was. And we were learning math at the same time, so that's how great of a teacher Mr. Istic was. So when I started this podcast, and me and Lucas were on the phone discussing game shows and stuff, and we were trying to get to that next level of what shows we can implement, this was one of the easiest ones, determining whether or not a player's Hall of Famer or not. And I figured, let's add the NAW twist to it. So this is a great episode. We have about half a dozen of them done now on the podcast. I actually don't even know how many there are. I'll have to look in post-production and then put the number on it. But Lucas, my man, how's it going?
It's going good.
Dude, lots of great interviews, lots of great episodes. Hillgrove was on. Oh my goodness. What a great time it is to be a Two Jagoffs fan.
Imagine a year ago being told Hillgrove's going to be on the podcast.
I know. Hillgrove was on the podcast. Kane Warner's episode did great. We have a Kevin interview as well.
Who would have thought the social media numbers would be going crazy, too?
Shout out to you for that as well. Social media's been popping off. Lots of IRL content, possibly more in the future. We're on YouTube now. Like, what the hell is... We're back in the studio. New equipment. Oh! It's a great time to be a Two Jagoffs fan. It's a great time to be a Jagoff. See, I'm Pittsburgh's favorite Jagoff. You are my Jagoff for today. We're the Two Jagoffs.
We are?
We are the Two Jagoffs.
We got Two Jagoffs.
I love your Crosby jersey, by the way. You guys can't see it because Lucas is not on camera, but Lucas is rocking a very nice Pikachu hat and a beautiful Sidney Crosby jersey. I love it. I got a nice NBA hoodie on. This is my first time wearing it in a while, so.
This is the only reason I wear this hat more recently is because this is the only hat that fits great whenever I decide not to cut my hair for months.
I'm about to say, is it just having a bad hair day? Yeah. I am too. That's why I got the Two Jagoffs hat on.
Now, I started wearing this more often because, one, don't feel like messing with the hair. Two, it's too long for any of my other hats. They don't fit my head whenever my hair's long.
You know what? I can't see it because they're not going to see it. Just let me see the hair real quick. I'll show you mine too. Mine's a mess. Oh, goodness. Yeah, you definitely need a haircut.
Yeah. It's been a couple months since my last one. It's been like 3 months.
Mine's a train wreck too. It's bad.
Yours isn't even long. Yours just a bad hair day. Mine's just long and a bad hair day.
you got the best of both worlds. All right, well, Hall of Famer, no. We've done this game show for a while. Honestly, this is one of the more underrated game shows. We always say it's not as good as Blind Rankings and as STBC because it's not as controversial.
I think me and you it's just personal opinions. It is a good game show. It's just me and you don't like it as much.
That's true.
It's hard to hate each other during it.
It is. And honestly, I'll be honest, this is probably going to be one of the last Hall of Famer NAWs for a while just because you can only do so many players at a time. We're going to try and mix in some new content in the mix, but it's been a while since we've done it. And you know what?
It's been like a good month or two since we've done it, maybe longer.
Yeah, we've had more Ask Austin Anythings than Hall of Famer NAWs. That's crazy.
Have we
We've
really?
had more interviews.
I guess recently at least we've had more.
Recently.
Yeah.
Not overall. Hall of Famer NAW tops the interviews.
Yeah.
And the Ask Austin Anythings combined. But yeah, no, it's going to be a good episode. I'm going to set the tone early for today if you don't mind because I want to talk about...
I see how it is.
I want to talk about baseball real quick. We don't talk enough baseball here on the podcast. This is my only baseball player I'm giving you. I don't think you have any.
I don't have any. I'm only going into 2 sports today.
Ooh, I like it. I love the simplicity. Well, let's get baseball out of the way then.
Sorry, 3. I lied.
Okay, 3.
I have one player that's different. I'll give him first.
Do you mind telling me the sports or no? Or is it a surprise?
No, I have football, wrestling, and I have one single hockey.
Hockey? Okay, yeah, that's what I have. I have football, hockey, and wrestling, but this is my only baseball player. So let's just get the baseball out of the way. Let's talk about Shohei Ohtani for a second. Now, Lucas, Shohei Ohtani was an incredible player with the Angels. Comes over to the Dodgers. He already won the World Series. He's an MVP. Is it time to say he's a Hall of Famer, or are we still saying he's too young into his career?
You basically answered my question. He won the World Series. He's an MVP. His contract alone gives him that Hall of Fame status. Look at that contract. You're not paying that to some nobody.
Well, just because you pay a bunch of money to a guy doesn't make him a Hall of Famer. Look at Dak Prescott.
Deshaun Watson, I guess.
Yeah, the 2 highest paid players in the league. But
I was about to say baseball-wise, but baseball players actually get paid more money than they are worth. So maybe I should take back that statement. But he's getting an absurdly amount of money, all right?
You think he's going to say... You should see Juan Soto.
Okay, well, yeah, he's also bad.
Oh, my gosh. Well, what was the Mets paying him? Close to $1 billion or something?
Isn't it $600 million or something like that?
Yeah.
That's insane.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, but, he's a great player. He's a pitcher and a hitter. You don't see players like that. I wish Skeens could be that, but the Pirates don't even know how to use Skeens yet. They keep taking him out too early, and then we lose the game that way, so his record is not even that great, to be honest. But no, I mean, Shohei Ohtani, easy Hall of Famer in my opinion. I wouldn't even question it for a second.
Yeah, even without the World Series, I would still say he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, his Angels career alone and the resume he established while he was there is nothing but incredible. And then the Dodgers run just solidified it. Now, will the longevity play a part in this? How deep will he go down as one of the greatest of all time? Is he going to be in that Babe Ruth, McGuire, Sosa conversation later on? Is he going to compete with the Paul Skeens? Like, there's so many questions revolving Shohei Ohtani, but there is no denying the athleticism and no denying the skill that he brings to the city of Los Angeles. 100% Hall of Fame.
My first one for you. Alright, so I'll get my hockey one out of the way. So here it is. We have Phil Kessel.
I feel like we did this one in the past, but it's been a minute. So here's the thing with Phil Kessel. He's a Stanley Cup champion, but he really hasn't done much. I mean, the most notable run he's had in recent memory was with the Arizona Coyotes when they were still Arizona before they moved to Utah and became the hockey club. So he has the resume for it. Although the career now isn't once what it was, I'm going to still say he's a Hall of Famer. I believe the resume is there to solidify it. And a lot of hockey players kind of go down that path where they play mentor. Kind of like a Jeff Carter, for example. Carter had a very successful career at the Kings, but when he came over to the Pens before he retired, he didn't really do too much. He wasn't really in the starting line as much. He was kind of there to help develop younger players and also be a veteran aspect to fall back on if a Crosby or a Malkin was not available. That's pretty much what Jeff Carter did when he became a Pen. Phil Kessel pretty much did the exact same thing with the several teams that he's played for since his departure with the Pittsburgh Penguins. So overall, I'm going to say Phil Kessel was a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you. Honestly, in my opinion, his best run was with the Penguins, to be honest.
It was.
I don't know why we ever got rid of him. He could have been a Pittsburgh Hall of Famer, but we got rid of him. But I think his stats alone are just enough to get him in. I don't know if it'll be like a first ballot necessarily, and I don't know if it'll be his first year that he gets in, but I think eventually he will make it, and he can continue to keep playing it, obviously. So
this next one that I have for you, Lucas, I'm going to be honest with you. It's probably one that's going to be talked about now for the next couple of years, but I feel like he now has a decent resume to go with it. I want to talk about Josh Allen for a second. He just won his first MVP for the Buffalo Bills. Do you believe it is now time to start debating whether or not he should be in the Hall of Fame? Because last time we played this, I said Lamar Jackson. You were 50-50, but you did agree with me at the end. Do you think Josh Allen's now there or not yet?
I don't think he's there yet, to be honest. I mean, he's got really good stats. The MVP definitely helps. But I'm going to need to see something else. I'm going to need to either see another MVP maybe a run, not even winning the Super Bowl, just making it to the Super Bowl, making it to that big game. I don't think he's there yet.
Personally. You know what's crazy, Lucas? I actually 100% agree with you. Here's the thing with Josh Allen. The MVP helps him get one step closer, but I can't ignore that 0-4 record against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. I can't ignore the constant playoff losses. Yes, you could say Lamar Jackson has the playoff losses, but he has 2 MVPs to back it up. Now, if Josh Allen goes out and wins MVP again this year, then there's no denying that Josh Allen's in the Hall of Fame. I mean, look at Andrew Luck, look at Phillip Rivers. These are guys that really don't have the MVPs either, but they're still probably going to be in the Hall of Fame one day just because of the longevity of their careers. Lamar Jackson has a short amount of success already in his career. Josh Allen just finally got his first MVP. Now, yes, it's hard to compete for that title when you have a Lamar Jackson, a Patrick Mahomes, and Aaron Rodgers, or Tom Brady during your time of your career. But now that Josh Allen has officially won it, now it's time to start discussing whether or not he can be in that conversation. But I full-heartedly agree with you. It's not the time yet, but it's going to be the time soon. I'm going to say no as well.
My next one for you. I have someone that was actually in the vote for the NFL Hall of Fame this year, but didn't make it. And some people are saying he was snubbed of it. Eli Manning.
See, here's the thing. A lot of people don't believe Eli Manning should be in the Hall of Fame due to how great the defense was and the weapons that were surrounding him. But there's no denying the fact that Eli Manning is a 2-time Super Bowl champion and is only one of 2 quarterbacks to beat Tom Brady on the grandest stage. The other, of course, is Nick Foles. Eli Manning, I will say, is not the better Manning. Peyton by far clears. I mean, he won the Super Bowl with 2 different teams. He won it with both the Broncos and the Colts. And the longevity of his career, and when he won the second Super Bowl with Denver, was well past his prime. Eli Manning had a couple of dull years, and the main reason why so many people don't want Eli Manning in the Hall of Fame is because his final season in the NFL, he got benched for Daniel Jones. Benched for Daniel Jones. That's a stain on his resume right there. That's a stain to his legacy. We didn't have a podcast at the time, but if we did, I most certainly would have went on that week and said this is going to hurt Eli Manning's chances of getting in the Hall of Fame, and I believe that's what a lot of NFL officials are holding on to, as they so should be able to hold on to it. Overall, though, the 2 Super Bowls are undisputable, and the dominant fashion that's showcased. Tom Brady kept it close in both of those games, but Eli Manning completely owns him once it comes Super Bowl season. I got to give him Hall of Fame. He's the best quarterback in Giants franchise history. He's won them 2 rings, 2 out of their 3. I got to give it them. Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree with you, but did you actually see who did make it? Someone that we've brought up on this very game show a couple game shows ago. Jack, you can go back and find the footage of this. Do you know who made it?
I have an idea, but I want you to say it.
Antonio Gates finally made it.
There we go. That's what I was thinking.
I brought him up before, and that was probably the quickest conversation we ever had because it was so obviously a yes, but he wasn't in yet. Now he's in.
And it's well-deserved. It is well-deserved. Long overdue, by the way.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure on the other ones, but I know he made it because I saw a couple posts about it. But yeah, Eli Manning, I still say he makes it. I mean,
first ballot. I will say this. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Doesn't he have Super Bowl MVPs on him?
Yes.
2, right?
I think, you may have to fact check me on this one, but I think it's 1. I want to say it's 1. Look, while you're doing the research, I will say this about Eli Manning real quick. Eli Manning is not going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer due to the simple fact that he was heavily carried by his team. And there's plenty of great quarterbacks who won the Super Bowl that isn't in the Hall of Fame, even though they have a Super Bowl ring under their belt. Eli Manning, though, is one of the guys that did lead his team both times throughout the regular season. And one of those wins against the Patriots for Eli Manning was against an undefeated Patriots team. It's not like it was just Tom Brady and the Patriots. It was an undefeated team that did not lose a single game in the regular season or a single game in the playoffs. The only loss they had that year was to Eli Manning in the Super Bowl. That screams Hall of Fame to me. But do you happen to have it pulled up or?
Yeah, he got 2.
Add that onto the reason.
I believe it's weird. Like different articles have different things. So I'm going off of NBC, saying that he has 2.
Well, hopefully NBC is right.
Hopefully, one of them says like none, but one of them says he won 2. So I don't know. I think he won at least 1 or 2 though.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm gonna go with that. That alone almost wants me to say yes right there. Like you said, getting benched for Daniel Jones, who we know how his career's playing out. That ain't good. Isn't there something too about like his win-loss record? Isn't it like literally like 50% or like 51 or something like that?
Yes.
So that also a little questionable, but that's more of a team stat than a him stat.
It is more of a team stat, but the reason why so many people want to argue that is because he had the chance to retire early when his career was starting to slow down, but he kind of took the Big Ben Roethlisberger and kind of squeezed out those last couple years when he probably should have hung up the boots a little sooner. So Eli Manning did kind of do that to himself, but I get where you're coming from. The team stat thing, at the end of the day, that Giants team was pretty pathetic. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. was no longer there. The running game was just disgusting. It was bad. So I get where you're coming from, but yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, but overall, I'm just going to say Hall of Fame.
Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
All right, let's move over to my cup of tea real quick, Lucas. Let's talk about the WWE here for a second, and let's talk about one of your favorites, Finn Balor. Now, we watched him debut back in 2016 in Pittsburgh. He's went on to win the Universal Championship, where he only held it for a day, unfortunately. Multi-time tag team champion, one of the greatest on the roster. Kind of lost right now in the Judgment Day. Do you believe he ends up in the Hall of Fame? And we're simply just talking about Finn Balor. We're not talking about the Judgment Day or the club or any of the other stuff he's been a part of. Just Finn Balor.
I'm actually going to go ahead and say yes. I know me and you've like personally talked about this one before, and I actually think, as much as I liked him, I think I actually said no the first time he asked me. But I know we said we're not going with the team, but like his involvement in the Judgment Day was like his personal role in there, with kind of being like the takeover guy now, taking over. He had that big push with him, going from like just like kind of like the side person in that group to taking it over fully. Like I said, his tag team championships. He did win the Universal, and he was supposed to hold it longer, but injury stopped that, so that's not entirely his fault. Or his fault at all, I guess, really. I'd say, yeah. He's a pretty big part right now. I'd say he deserves it.
I will say his career is being hurt right now because of the Judgment Day storyline, and this is nothing against Judgment Day. I love this new Judgment Day. It's just they're confusing. The theme song doesn't attract me at all. When Finn Balor came out to the Royal Rumble and got no pop, it's because no one knew the theme song. If he would have came out to his original song, or at least his new variation song...
WWE changing his theme song was one of the dumbest things they've ever done. He literally had one of the most liked theme songs. Heel or babyface, it didn't matter. Everyone was doing that.
Yeah, everyone was doing the whoa or whatever. Like, he was the whoa before Cody Rhodes was doing the whoa.
And then why did we get rid of Demon Finn Balor?
I mean, Roman Reigns was the one that got rid of Demon Finn Balor.
Yeah, but everyone liked it.
Everyone liked it, but the Tribal Chief kind of took him down at Money in the Bank. But I get
They're just kind of killing his character, and it kind of sucks to see. But I still would kind of lean over the line of yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm going to agree with you. I think Finn Balor makes the Hall of Fame when it's all said and done. Although the one World Championship win that he's had was only lasted a day, I mean, the storylines he's been a part of, the matches that he's made, the memories. Finn Balor is a name that everybody knows. If you're at least pay somewhat close attention to the WWE, not to mention his great run that he had in NXT, one of the 4 pillars, in my opinion, of NXT. If you put a Mount Rushmore, Finn Balor is one of the faces up there. Probably with an Adam Cole, a Johnny Gargano, and a Tommaso Ciampa. Maybe even a Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes if you want to include the new NXT. But Finn Balor's career spans over a long time. The matches, the feuds with Rollins, even his most recent feud with Priest. We can't ignore Edge inside Hell in a Cell. What a great match that was. Stole the show. Finn Balor, Hall of Fame.
My next one for you, Marshawn Lynch.
This is a good one because Marshawn Lynch has played in the Super Bowl and has won a Super Bowl for the Seattle Seahawks. He is one of the most underrated and dominant running backs of all time. He was Derrick Henry before Derrick Henry was Derrick Henry. Let's just be honest. That's a crazy statement.
That's a crazy statement to make.
That is a crazy... It's the true statement, though. Marshawn Lynch, I'm going to say he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he has the stats. He has the numbers. Outside, I know he went back to the Raiders, and then he went back to the Seahawks for like 2 games, and that pretty much did nothing for his career. I'm going to completely set that aside and simply look at him as the Seattle Seahawks, as that prime Marshawn Lynch, as that prime man who everybody had Skittles throwing in the back of the end zone because of how dominant he was and how much he was scoring a game. Marshawn Lynch was a complete game changer. He took a big workload off of Russell Wilson, not to mention that incredible defense they had as well. I got to give it to them. Marshawn Lynch, Hall of Famer.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with you. I mean, the Super Bowl's there. The stats are there. I mean, he was a beast. You know, you didn't hear that name and go, oh, it's a nobody. Everyone knew who Marshawn Lynch was. Yeah, I'd give him Hall of Fame.
I want to move over to this next one. I'm going to stay on the NFL topic with you. And this is a guy we've had a lot of conversations about. I know you actually had more negative stuff to say about him than I did. But this is a guy that's very interesting to me just because of the teams that he's ended up on, but the numbers he's putting up on said teams. I think you see where I'm going with this. Wide receiver Davante Adams. It's a tough one.
I mean, he's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL right now, even though it doesn't really reflect it because of the teams he's on. My only problem with him is he doesn't have anything to show for it besides the yards he gets and like what he does on the field. He doesn't have the awards that say, Hall of Famer. He doesn't have the like Players of the Year, the NFL, or not the NFL, the Super Bowl stats. My opinion's changed on him. I still think that he made bad moves following, like going to the Raiders for Carr and then going to the Jets for Rodgers. I think he personally could have put himself in a much better situation and probably got some better stats. And maybe even like some, I don't know, maybe he could have gone to the Chiefs and been in the Super Bowl. Just at least making it somewhere big like that. Or making some deep playoff runs. Just he needs something. So for that, I'm going to say no, he's not a Hall of Fame right now.
See, he does need that because you need to add more to your resume to get in. But at the end of the day, even if you don't have an MVP or an Offensive Player of the Year or Rookie of the Year or Super Bowl run, if the longevity plays out in your favor and you're consistently great with consistently different teams and different players, absolutely, I would still say they're a Hall of Famer. Like, even if Mike Evans didn't win the Super Bowl with Tom Brady, let's just say the Tampa Bay Buccaneers were a staggered team like they are every year outside of the year they had Brady. I would still say Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer. I would still say Chris Godwin's a Hall of Famer just because of the numbers and the longevity of their careers with said team. Davante Adams is a bit of a different story, though, because he went to the Packers with Aaron Rodgers, where he played most of his first half of his career. Then he went over to the Raiders to be with his buddy Derek Carr. Now he's back with his buddy Aaron Rodgers in New York with the Jets, and who knows what the future holds with Aaron Rodgers looking like he's on his way out the door in New York. So that's where I lean towards NAW, because Davante Adams hasn't stayed with one team. But the reason why I would argue Hall of Fame is because he's been great on all 3 of those teams. Even without Derek Carr, when they had Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell throwing him the football, he was still looking like it was Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football. He won them games. He won them great games. But overall right now, if his career was to end tomorrow, I don't think I can confidently say he's a Hall of Famer. There's dozens of other receivers that I would argue that's active and not active right now. So as of right this current second on the podcast, I'm going to agree with Lucas and say NAW, but I'm not going to say the argument is too far-fetched and too far off. Davante Adams is on the path to being a Hall of Famer. Even if he doesn't ever win a Super Bowl or an Offensive Player of the Year, if he can consistently put up the numbers that he's been putting up over the last couple of years, or at least throughout his career, he'll be in Canton, Ohio one day. Until then, though, no. It's a good one.
Yeah, it is. My next one for you, Terrell Suggs.
I feel like you gave me this one, too. Maybe it was a different episode. I don't know. I'll refresh everyone's memory on Terrell Suggs, though. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer. I know the back end of his career, he went to like 3 different teams, one of them being my Cardinals, and he did absolutely nothing there.
Yeah, that's kind of like an Eli Manning story right there. Should have probably hung up the boots a little bit earlier.
Should have probably hung up the boots a little bit earlier, but oh my goodness. Prime Terrell Suggs. I mean, outside of spiders, snakes, and probably parachuting, Terrell Suggs is up there in my top 4 worst nightmares. If you have that man coming running at you, I may run out of my boots like it's a Tom and Jerry cartoon. Like, I'm taking off, Lucas. I am taking off. Usain Austin Bolt is activated. I am not going to get hit by a Terrell Suggs. I'm already injury prone as is. You pointed that out on Who Knows Austin Carnes Better with Kevin Homa. I'm way too injury prone to take any kind of hit from Terrell Suggs, let alone prime Terrell Suggs. Hall of Famer. Doesn't matter. That was probably the best Hall of Fame dollar take ever.
I think that speech just made me change, or not change my opinion, but keep my opinion with Hall of Famer. That speech alone is just like, yeah, and that's all you need to hear.
Listen, when he came to the Cardinals, I was ecstatic. It sucked to see him slow down. Injuries caught at them. Let's just be honest. Injuries is what caught him. Old age, everyone, Mother Nature. It happened. Father Time, not Mother Nature. Father Time.
I was gonna say, how does Mother Nature play in his
Wrong
injuries?
parents. Wrong parents. Father Time is what caught up to Terrell Suggs, not Mother Nature. I mean, Mother Nature does play a role too with the temperatures in Baltimore when he would play as a Raven, but that's besides the point. Terrell Suggs, Hall of Fame. I didn't expect that one to be interesting. Yeah, yeet. Come on. There you go. Lucas is eating, y'all. You can't see it, but he's eating. Austin, if you're listening to this, put a picture of Jey Uso up on post-production. Leave it up. 3, 2, 1. All right, take it down. Back to the next one. I don't know why I did that to myself. I'm making myself edit more later.
Yeah, you have to add an extra picture now just because of that.
I know.
And also, you still can't take it down yet after you told yourself to take it down. So you're going to take it down, then realize, like, oh, I can't take it down because they're still being idiots and just rambling.
I know.
And not going to the next one.
It's still up right now.
It's really funny.
I know. Jey Uso.
You're probably listening back to this like, why'd I do this?
I know. Why did I do this? Why is Jey Uso still on the screen? Is Jey Uso the next one I'm going to give you?
I don't know, but like you're listening, you're like, man, I really wish I could just take this down right now.
I really wish I could.
But you're not going to take it down.
Do you know what the worst part is?
Huh?
Who I have to put up next?
Who?
Carson Wentz.
Nah.
Now keep in mind, he's a Super Bowl champion. I mean, he didn't play in it, but he's a Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm not putting him in there for a participation trophy. I mean, realistically, show me what he's done like the last 5 years.
So Carson Wentz is an off for you.
No.
Yeah, I agree. Listen, I get he got the Lombardi, and listen, Carson Wentz was an MVP level player. He was the best quarterback in the league at one point.
He's like Cam Newton.
Not just Cam Newton. That injury is what killed him, man. When he came back from that injury, he was not the same. Nick Foles stayed in. It was bad. Then they transitioned over to Jalen Hurts, which is the best move the franchise has made in the last decade, ever since they've had Donovan McNabb, for goodness sakes. I gotta agree with you. Carson Wentz is a #1 automatic hell no. Hell no. Great backup, though.
My next one for you. Adam Vinatieri.
Adam Vinatieri was the greatest kicker of all time before Justin Tucker passed the record. Now, Justin Tucker is kind of caught up right now with a lot of controversy. We're not going to touch on that here because I feel like if that Terrell Suggs take didn't get me to monetize, this most certainly will if I ever try and monetize this podcast or this episode. But here's the deal with Adam Vinatieri. He was consistently great with both the New England Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts, especially the Colts run when they went to the Super Bowl, and him and McAfee. I mean, they were probably the best special teams do at one point. McAfee, the punter, Vinatieri, the kicker. Oh my goodness. What two better players do you want on your special teams? They're both rowdy. They're both loud. They both will make a tackle if they need to. Yeah, I'm going to say he's a Hall of Famer. If it wasn't for Justin Tucker making that 66-yard field goal against the Detroit Lions a couple years back, Adam Vinatieri is the greatest kicker in our eyes. Hall of Fame. And he has the ring to back it up, too.
Yeah, I mean, considering the fact that he has a ring and he was the greatest kicker of all time for a decent amount of time, that alone, that's a great padding to your resume. That is great to have on your resume. That alone gets him in there. And then just the fact that, I mean, greatest kicker, that involves a lot of great plays and helping the team win a lot. So, yeah, I'm going to give him that Hall of Fame.
Well, we talked about the Colts, so I want to transition over to another former Colts player, but I'm not talking about his Colts career, actually. This is not his Colts career. I'm talking about his WWE career. Pat McAfee. Listen, we talk about McAfee the punter all the time. That man's crazy. We talk about his show. But not just as a WWE commentator, Pat McAfee was an in-ring competitor as well. He had a match at SummerSlam against Baron Corbin. He had the match at WrestleMania against Austin Theory. Technically, he also fought Vince McMahon and took one of the best stunners I've ever seen of all time with the beer coming out of his mouth. He also wrestled in more games in NXT against Undisputed Era and Adam Cole. Baby. So, Pat McAfee has a pretty illustrious career. Made a Rumble appearance where he got scared because of Omos and Braun Breaker, which in all honesty, like I said about Terrell Suggs, number 5 on that nightmare list is Omos and Braun Breaker staring at me in the Rumble. So, Pat McAfee, Lucas, overall WWE career, commentating, NXT, main roster, wrestling, whatever you want, Pat McAfee, is he a WWE Hall of Famer?
Yes. It doesn't take very much to get in the WWE Hall of Fame. You just have to you have to win over the crowd and just be good at your job. He's both of those. So, yeah, Hall of Fame. I mean, also considering some of the people that are in the WWE Hall of Fame, he's definitely better than some of the people that have made it in there, so definitely.
Something I would add on to what you just said, too. You have to make and create moments. Pat McAfee is a moment maker. Hall of Famer easily. He's a Hall of Fame in both sports. We already knew his Colts run was a career. Was a Hall of Fame career. I just wanted to see what your WWE opinion on was. Because a lot of people don't like his WWE career. A lot of people believe he's annoying and he doesn't add too much. That's, like, the thing is with Pat McAfee, he's adding a fan...
Maybe you should choose a new sport to like, because you obviously don't know WWE.
Here's the thing.
That's something your dad's famous for saying.
Exactly. It most certainly is. My thing with him is he adds the fan aspect for it. A lot of people, when they watch the WWE, they watch it like they're fans. We're watching it from a fan's perspective. Pat McAfee is breaking down the fan's perspective live. I love Corey Graves to death, and I love Wade Barrett, but they are more the analyst role. They're more of the Keller broadcaster. You look at a Joe Tessitore or a Michael Cole, they're more of the play-by-play guy. They're breaking down what exactly is going on in the ring. The fan perspective, though, looking at it, the way McAfee approaches it reminds me of Jerry the King Lawler. And that's exactly what he did. Just his reaction to things. Oh, my goodness. What the hell? Oh, my goodness. Oh, it's Braun Breaker. Oh, it's amazing.
His reactions give off like a child living their best life.
Yes.
Like he completed like a childhood dream. And his childhood dream was to go play football. This is like just like a backup dream.
Well, WWE was one of his dreams, too. He always dreamed about being in the WWE. So, McAfee...
But like his reactions, like... You can't fake those reactions. Those are genuine reactions.
McAfee is living the life that me and you played as kids with our stuffed animals and action figures.
Hey,
That's Pat McAfee.
Hey, we were some of the best sellers of all time, all right? If you're listening to a stuffed animal, you're one of the best sellers of all time.
And we were selling.
WWE, hire us. We can sell.
I was the Dolph Ziggler of stuffed animal wrestling.
There was a time where I was laying on your floor, crawling centimeters at a time because your floor was so small that you were basically standing right next to me the whole time, even whenever you weren't in the ring. So I was like, I can't reach you, even though I could very well just reach out and tag you.
You just stick your hand down.
I would actually stick my hand out to the side, not even straight, because otherwise I would touch your hand to tag you in.
I know, and those,
we were some of the best sellers. We worked with what we had.
Dude, those wrestling buddies really whooped us too. They put a number on us, man. They sent us both to retirement. I mean,
They did.
We got to pull Hardy Boys and come back at Mania.
We're gonna come out of retirement.
We got to come out of retirement, and then I'm gonna turn heel on you, and then you're gonna get your vengeance and put me through a table, or
I'm going to.
Who knows? Maybe hint, wink, wink.
Hint, wink, wink.
Yeah.
maybe you guys should pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Rewind 10 seconds.
Yeet.
Yeet. All right. Well, I mean, I know I made this joke kind of like started like a couple weeks ago about maybe Austin should shut his damn mouth and stop spoiling what I have next.
Damn, what's wrong with you?
Matt Hardy.
Since
you keep bringing up Hardy and names I'm bringing up next.
Delete. Hall of Fame. I mean, if are we solely just talking?
Just him. No Jeff.
I think they both.
Because Jeff is like a solid Hall of Fame career.
Oh, easily, because he's a.
Matt's the one you can debate more, but it depends how you look.
I would still say he is. I mean, he had the tag team run with MVP as well in the great feud after they broke up. We can't ignore his ECW championship run. We can't ignore his United States championship run and the feud that he had with MVP back in 2006, and the feud he had with Jeff Hardy as well when they had that I Quit match where Matt Hardy was literally laying on the ladder and Jeff Hardy went right through him. So Matt Hardy's career is nowhere near as great as Jeff Hardy's was. But we still got to look at Matt Hardy, especially Matt Hardy version 1. That was one of my favorite gimmicks in the late Attitude Era, early Ruthless Aggression era, where he had like the Matt facts, where he would like put like a fact on the board. He had the one guy coming out I forget his name, the one guy that used to come out to the ring with him as a manager. Matt Hardy was always a good character. Jeff was always just the one that was superior. Every tag team has a superior wrestler. Jey Uso is the superior wrestler to Jimmy Uso. Kofi Kingston is the superior wrestler to the rest of the New Day. Some argue it's Big E now, but it's mostly Kofi Kingston. Bubba Ray was always more successful than Devon was. Edge was always more successful than Christian was. And in this case scenario, it's Jeff Hardy over Matt Hardy. But we're going to take nothing away from Matt Hardy's single career. It was great. Not to mention, delete!
You know
that's all Matt Hardy.
You know that ladder clip is actually how I got my inspiration for this?
Really?
I saw it on YouTube. I was watching a wrestling highlight from like some like the craziest moves, and that was one of them.
It was one of the craziest moves.
But I do agree with you, Hall of Fame.
Watching as a kid, I thought Matt Hardy died. I'm not gonna lie.
I think we thought everyone died.
Yeah.
Like we saw him go through tables. We saw electrical cords laying on. I'm like, oh, dead. You saw like like one single spot of blood, dead.
Yep, dead. That's it.
Dead. There was either alive or dead. There was no like just injured or hurt or like bump. No, just dead.
No, just you're done.
Yep.
You're toast.
I really found it funny after we made that whole thing about your editing. The amount of random people you're gonna have to put on this editing. Because this is the first time I've ever edited like a Hall of Fame or NAW. It goes across like so many different sports.
Yeah, I know.
And so many just random like people that, like you wouldn't have in a regular conversation together.
Yeah.
You're gonna go from like Terrell Suggs to Matt Hardy to Phil Kessel. I just named three I already gave you, but like it's just like why would you ever have a conversation about those three guys in like the span of like an hour, however long this takes us to, less or more than you wouldn't. But
no, I know I wouldn't.
You still have Matt Hardy on the screen.
I still have Matt Hardy on the screen.
You still have Matt Hardy on the screen.
Matt Hardy.
Yeah.
Delete.
We
gotta delete.
We're not done delete. You have to keep it in.
Can we delete it and go to the next one now?
I mean, you can go to the next one, but you can't delete it until like.
Until I say it.
Yeah.
Because if I put the picture up of the next guy, then it's gonna spoil who it is.
Yeah, like you haven't said it yet, so.
But and there's viewers on Spotify that's not actually watching, like the viewers on YouTube. So those viewers have no clue what's happening either way.
Yeah, but some of the Spotify guys might be watching it.
Yeah,
they might just like have it up.
feature.
Yeah, they might just have it up like idly, kind of like glance over every once in a while.
That's true, but there's also listeners on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, they don't really have that option though, so it doesn't really matter to them.
Yeah, exactly. So they're just sitting there like wondering what the hell are these two ranting about right now.
Yeah,
But the YouTube viewers, they're like, why do we still see Matt Hardy?
And Spotify guys that do watch it, like, why do we still see Matt Hardy?
Yeah.
Like, if you delete Matt Hardy now, then like there's just gonna be nothing.
And the Amazon Music guys are like the iHeart guys. They're like, why are they still talking?
But like if you delete Matt Hardy before you put up the next one, then like the YouTube and then half the Spotify guys are like a little confused why it's just a black screen. Or if you put the next guy, if you press enter and the next guy comes on, but we haven't even talked about him yet.
Exactly. And what if you forget to put the transition in? Is it gonna just go from one
I
person
can't
to
do
the
this
next?
anymore.
You didn't even let me finish. I was gonna say, what about the listener on Podchaser? That
Oh God!
What is he gonna do?
Alright, start to the one Podchaser guy.
Podchaser. I'm sorry. Matt Hardy is no longer on the screen because now on the screen is my next player that I have for you, and he is a hockey player for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Yo, that's crazy.
Matt Hardy is still on the screen.
Damn it, Matt Hardy, get up and delete. Brian Rust. There he is. Brian Rust is now on the screen. You know what? Take Brian Rust off the screen and put a Rusty Shake on the screen. Now we have a Rusty Shake. There's the Rusty Shake. It looks great. Me and Lucas went to the Milkshake Factory. We both can attest to it. Back to Brian Rust, Austin. Here we go.
Can I just put Matt Hardy back for a second? Like, just like 1 second.
All right, Matt Hardy for 1 second. Boom. All right, he's gone. Brian Rust is back on the screen. No more Rusty Shake. No more Matt Hardy.
No, I'm gonna fact check to make sure you did all these edits.
Poor. I'm gonna be at Point Park for hours. Now Brian Rust is on the screen. One of the better scorers, always injured. Is he a Hall of Famer or not?
I'm pretty sure you've actually asked me this one before.
Probably.
And I think I said Hall of Fame. I'm actually gonna take back what I said and go with NAW.
Ooh.
I mean, like you said, he's injured a lot. The consistency isn't there. He is one of the best players on our team right now. But between the fact that there's nothing to show for being on the Penguins recently, at this point, unless he goes somewhere else, he's just wasting his career. I'm sorry, Brian Rust. As much as I love you, and I would probably want to kill you if you left this team, there's nothing left to go out of this team.
No.
This team is about to go into a rebuild that Pittsburgh fans are not ready to see. Because we're about... If you think we're doing bad now, wait for this rebuild to happen where we don't have Rust, Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Carlson. It's going to be bad. It's going to be really bad. But the lack of stat padding that's not there, I just can't give it to him yet. I'm sorry, I can't give it to him yet. I think I said yes. I'm going to take it back and say no now.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. I didn't agree with you the first time around if I did ask you this because I never thought Brian Rust was a
Yeah,
Hall of Famer.
I think you said no, and we argued a little bit, and then we just kind of ran to a stalemate.
Yeah, no, I'm still on that same train. I totally apologize for giving you him again, but we've done this episode so many times, it's hard. We're running out of players.
I
already.
mean, it's fair to give players again because stuff changes.
Exactly,
I mean,
stuff
my
changes.
opinion has changed since last time, so good credit to you for bringing him back up, I guess.
Of course, absolutely. No, here's the thing with Brian Rust. I would say he's still one of the better scorers when on the ice, but he kind of reminds me a lot of an Anthony Davis. I mean, Anthony Davis is a Hall of Famer regardless because he has a ring. Brian Rust does not. But Anthony Davis, when you're not on the court, you can't be a presence. And when you're not a presence, you completely do your team nothing. I mean, the Mavericks are probably not even going to make the playoffs this year because of his absence. You can make the same argument for the Penguins. Brian Rust's absence is one of the reasons why they're probably not going to make the playoffs again this year, and why they've probably missed it the last 2 years. You can't rely on guys if they're constantly being injured and constantly off the ice or off the court or off the field or whatever. We wish him nothing but the best in that aspect. As someone who used to always get injured, I can relate to it. But at the end of the day, if you're not healthy and you're not there for your team, then your team's not going to be able to be there for you when you return. So Brian Rust is a great player. Love him to death. Love what he does for the city. Love what he does with the Rusty Shake at the Milkshake Factory. Love everything about the guy. Great scorer, compliments Crosby very well. Honestly, when he came back after Gensel departed, he became one of the best scorers outside of Drew O'Connor. Now O'Connor's gone. Rust has done a great job stepping into that role as the number one scorer. So Rust to me is not a Hall of Famer quite yet. Maybe get a ring, maybe make a playoff run. I don't believe if it's with the Penguins though, he's probably never going to make it. Let's just be 100% honest. I mean, there's just already too many stars and too many future Hall of Famers and too many to be determined Hall of Famers on that squad. Brian Rust, he's just going to get lost in the shuffle.
My next one for you, Frank Gore.
I like this one because Frank Gore was a great player. Played for the Jets, the Bills, the Niners. Longevity is what's going to get him in the Canton, Ohio. The longevity of his career. He almost played enough time for him to play with his son. If he would have played one more year, he would have been playing with his son. That's how great Frank Gore was. He's never been like the best running back in the league. He never was the guy that you looked at like, yeah, this is the guy. This is my best running. Like, no, Ezekiel Elliott was better. Todd Gurley was better. Marshawn Lynch was better. There were so many other great running backs during his time and during his era, but he was always consistently great. He was always in that top 5. He reminds me a lot of like an Aaron Jones or a Josh Jacobs. We never look at those guys as the best running backs in football, but they're always up there. They're always putting up good numbers. They're consistently great, and they're consistently great with different teams. So I'm going to sit up here and say that Frank Gore, Lucas, 100% Hall of Fame. Well-deserved.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you. And I actually did bring up some stats here just because this is an example I have that you were bringing up earlier where they didn't have any really thing with it to do with the Super Bowl. Didn't win the Super Bowl. Didn't get a Super Bowl MVP. Nothing like that. But he just has the stats to pad it. 16,000 yards, rushing yards. He's the third most in the NFL. 5-time Pro Bowl. I mean, Pro Bowl meant more back whenever he played. It doesn't really mean anything anymore. So, but for the time he played, we will say that is an achievement to have because it started in 2006 was his first one. 2009, great year by the way.
Oh, thanks, Lucas, for reminding me.
2011, 2012, and 2013. So, like I said back then, it did mean a little bit more to actually make it to the Pro Bowl, and more players were inclined to actually accept it than to just be like, "Oh, my hand hurts, don't want to go."
My head hurts. Doctor, wrap it. Sorry, just the way you said that.
I have a boo-boo.
I have a boo. Doctor, I need a hall pass. It sounded like you were taking a personal shot at someone there. Was there a player to think of when you said that, or
just gonna leave it at that? Don't want to start any controversy.
Fair, totally fair.
People out there that know ball can figure that one out. He was the San Francisco 49ers all-time leading rusher. He was the all-decade team, which is something I didn't even remember existed, to be honest. 12 seasons with 800 plus rushing yards. That's pretty good.
That's very good.
That's the most in NFL history. That's like the Mike Evans of running backs.
That's a great comparison. Ooh, kudos to you, man. That's actually a great comparison. The only difference is Frank Gore doesn't have the ring Mike Evans does. That's a great comparison though outside of that.
And then, as you said, longevity, he played 16 seasons. So that's an example where they didn't make it to like they didn't win the big game or anything. He didn't like get great stats in the big game. Still makes it. I say without a question, he makes it.
That's a great argument, man. That's a great one. That's a really good one. I didn't expect Frank Gore out of you. I want to transition back over to hockey real quick. This is my last hockey player that I have for you. This one's probably going to be quick, but I thought it would still be a fun one to mention. Let's talk about Alex Nedeljkovic for a second. I get it, he's on the Pens and he's relatively new, but he is the only goalie in the NFL in the NHL to ever score a goal and in this like for 3 different leagues.
I feel like you're trying to rage bait me right now. It's not going to work because I'm going to say nah.
Okay, I just wanted to see if your opinion changed on him or not.
No, I mean...
I might have some no's.
My opinion has changed on him in general. I do think he's a good... I wouldn't say good. He's a decent goalie.
Okay.
But the problem right now is that, one, like I said with Rust, he's not getting anything out of this team. If he wants to actually make it to the Hall of Fame, he's leaving this team. Number 2, there are so many great goalies in the NHL right now that you need to do something to really stand. Like, you need a far playoff run, a Stanley Cup run. A Stanley Cup win would really be awesome for you. Or you need to be, like, the best goalie for, like, a couple years. Or in the argument for the top 3. He's not making any of that on this team. And to be honest, I don't even think he's good enough to make a run for most of those. But if he can find a team that will start him, or at least put him like with the start, like give him like a little trade off, like the Penguins love doing. Find a team that'll let him play some games, lead into some deep playoff runs, and let him play some playoff wins. Maybe then I'll consider it. As of now, I wouldn't put him close to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he is not a Hall of Famer. I just wanted to see if I was going to get something out of you for this one or get some sort of debate. But I do actually want to talk about him for a second because Jari bouncing back and forth between the team, between the minors, between the... Jari's been all over the place, so we're not even going to talk about him. Bloomquist, he was nice. I saw him in the preseason. I had a chance to go to a preseason game earlier this year with my man Kevin. And, I mean, I'll be honest with you, it was nothing special. He did great. He did okay. I want to say he did great. He did okay, but he didn't do great. Ned has been one of the few players... How dare you drop that in the middle of my take? What is wrong with you?
You drop something like every episode. I drop it one time. One time.
I am so blessed we are not in my room anymore. I don't have the hats that's going to follow me. I do have hats above me. There's 2 of them, but those aren't falling down. I can bump into this wall with this window. It ain't going to fall. You got 2 right behind you that might fall, though.
Nah, I don't drop hats.
You don't drop hats?
No, I wear hats.
I do, too. 2 Jagoffs, baby.
It's really funny.
Yeah, you're funny.
You still have natural face.
I was about to say that.
And you're talking about Bloomquist now. Actually, can you put a picture of Bloomquist on the screen now?
Dude, that's going to be so much work.
Yeah, can you put it on screen real quick?
Post Austin. I know you're sitting there at Point Park right now.
You're actually crying right now.
I'm probably crying. I'm probably eating my little brownie bites right now because I don't have enough money to afford real food. I'm drinking out my 2 Jagoffs cup, and Ned is still on the damn screen.
Yeah, and we're going to go into a little bit of a headphone warning. We always give the headphone warning after they need it, but we're going to give it before they need it. But this is like you right now. Stop making these dumb deals. Stop putting stuff on the screen. That's probably what you're doing right now.
Ned's on the screen right now. Let's transition to Bloomquist in 3, 2, 1. There it is.
Yeah, it's really fun that he's still going to be on the screen because I started talking, and now you can't transition back because I'm not giving you a good point to transition back. And I'm going to keep cutting you off for a second because it's really funny to see you struggle right now. No, you're going to struggle even more in person because you have to sit there and listen to our dumb selves talk, knowing that you did this to yourself by agreeing to put all these extra people on the screen. They're not even talking about as our 10 players. They just got brought up in our side conversations. Yeah, how's it feel right now?
This is the last one I'm doing for. If we say it again this episode, I ain't doing it. So Bloomquist is the last non-player from Hall of Famer NAW. There's a new rule. Whatever 10 players we submit each, those are the only 20 players. There's only going to be 22 images per episode. The 20 players and the 2 logos at the beginning and the end of the episode. That's it! No more Bloomquist. No more Matt Hardy. No more... Who did I get for Matt Hardy? Who did we replace him with earlier?
We're just going to go back to my Hardy and...
I don't even remember.
We just kept putting Matt Hardy back on the screen or keep it on the screen.
Matt Hardy, get on the screen! There's Matt Hardy. Look at him. Delete. Let's move into our next one now.
I'm gonna pay Jack Dean to fact check that you actually did all these edits.
That's fair.
Probably not. I'll just tell him to do it and he'll do it.
Well, you're on the next one now because I already did Ned. So we went from
That's
Ned to
true.
Bloomquist back to Matt Hardy, back to you now.
Can you actually put Matt Hardy on the screen real quick?
I thought you were about to say, can you put a picture? Matt Hardy's already on the screen, damn it. I'm not gonna put a picture. Imagine I put a picture of you right there. Let's put a picture of Mr. Jack Dean in the same color mask. No. Keep Matt Hardy on the screen also. Keep Matt Hardy until Lucas talks.
Oh, how dare you drop that? How dare you drop that?
I lost it. There it is.
How'd you lose it?
I found
There's
it.
only so many spots you can go.
I know. That's the point.
Matt Hardy is still on the screen right now.
I know he is.
I guess you want to go to my next one, don't you?
Please.
Yeah, Matt Hardy is still on the screen right now.
Matt Hardy's been on the damn screen, Lucas.
Marquise Pouncey.
Marquise Pouncey. Hall of Fame. He was consistently great for a long time.
You could argue he was the greatest at his time at his position.
I mean, him and his brother, Chargers and Steelers, they both are future Hall of Famers in my eyes. Both of the Pounceys did great. Marquise specifically for his time and the contributions he did for his city. I mean, you got to give credit where credit is due, man. There's not so many players, especially centers, that play as long and as great. He's nowhere near a Jason Kelsey, but damn it, he's up there.
Did you see how different he looks now that he retired? He lost all of his weight and his muscle.
Well, most linemen do.
I feel like I could take him in a fight right now. Like, he's lost that much. Like, I'm being serious.
I don't know about you challenging Marquise Pouncey is a good idea.
I feel like I could have a decent chance.
Marquise Pouncey, your image is still on the screen. Do you want to box Lucas one-on-one? We'll just have to wait.
The invite's out there.
You know I have all these connections with Steelers broadcasters and media personnel. I could probably see what I could do.
I'm cooked.
Yeah, you're cooked, bro.
I'm cooked.
We saw.
I could get a lucky shot in there. Just
Listen,
a little like pow and just
you
knock
just
him off guard.
threatened Marquise Pouncey on the digital airways of Spotify,
I didn't
YouTube.
threaten. I said theoretically.
Theoretically, Okay, theoretically speaking, if I had any NFL player, it doesn't matter if it's a punter, a kicker, or the damn water boy, I'm probably getting my ass handed to.
Okay, if you get your ass handed to you by the water boy, that's sad. I mean, you are injury boy.
Did you not see Adam Sandler movie?
I mean, you are injury boy.
I am injury boy.
Yeah, fly Eagles fly out that window.
Marquise Pouncey's still on the screen.
Marquise Pouncey is still on the screen.
We're not bringing Matt Hardy back. Don't even think about it.
Can you put Matt Hardy on the screen?
Nope. Matt Hardy, nope.
Post-production, Austin, put Matt Hardy on the screen, please.
Post-production, Austin just said no. So
Post-production, Austin, just
no!
put
Matt Hardy,
put him on the screen for that one. You can actually take him off by now and put him back to Marquise Pouncey by now, but just have Matt Hardy for that 1 second, just because Austin and the president or past for you said it as a dumb joke, and now you're gonna suffer for it. So blame yourself for that. But like Marquise Pouncey's back on the screen like right now, but just have Matt Hardy for that 1 second.
I hope you know that post-production Austin did not listen to you. He drained you out already. Marquise Pouncey's been on the screen the whole time. I apologize.
No, we have to put Matt Hardy on there. The fans want Matt Hardy on there.
Nope.
You're going against the fans? You're challenging all of the Jagoff Mafia. You know that, right?
I am challenging Jagoff Mafia, and guess what? You know what I gotta say to that? Delete.
You want to delete the Jagoff Mafia?
I'm not deleting damn Marquise Pouncey off the screen because I'm giving you Myles Garrett next. Myles Garrett. You just requested a trade. Pouncey the Garrett. Cleveland Browns. What's your opinion? Yeah, now I'm making you really think.
This one's hard.
It's very hard. That's why I gave it to you.
I really wish he didn't request that trade right now because I'm so uncertain of the future of his career. I feel like he had a place in Cleveland. I don't know what his role is going to be after he leaves.
Well, we're not talking about the future. Myles Garrett retired right now. Is he a Hall of Famer? That's the question that raises.
I'd probably say yeah. It's real close though. Like I'm borderline ready to say nah.
Let me ask you a question. Do you believe CJ Watt is a Hall of Famer?
Once again, I'm borderline with him too.
My thing is, if you say one's a Hall of Famer, you have to say the other is too, because they're pretty much identical in terms of Defensive Player of the Years, sacks, deflections, forced fumbles.
Participation, Defensive Player of the Year.
Huh?
I said participation.
Defensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
I would like to see you go put on a helmet out there.
I didn't say that because I'm just saying there was a better player.
You just said you could box Marquise Pouncey. What do you mean?
I would get my ass whooped by Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's so big boy.
Myles Garrett could beat both of us 2-on-1. You know that, right?
Give us your dad, me, you, Mr. Jack Dean,
and Kevin.
Well, Kevin would just probably sit there and laugh at us and probably like chuckle at us and probably make some sex joke or something like that. But we're all getting beat. All right, we're all getting beat. Can you put a picture of Matt Hardy on the screen?
No, we're not. No, it is Myles Garrett.
That's our new inside joke.
It is their new.
We're literally like 5 weeks from now, like after like this joke kind of like vanished a little bit. I'm just gonna like randomly like we're gonna be like the weirdest episode ever. We're gonna be talking about baseball and be like, hey, can you put a picture of Matt Hardy on the screen as your face just got shocked right now?
I apologize. I was taking a quiz in the background. I got an A.
No, you're taking a college quiz while recording two Jagoffs. You're such a nerd. You're such a nerd. I was gonna wait till we go off there to ask why you got your computer out because you did all quiet. You were telling me talk, and I'm like, yeah, I am talking, dummy. But like, why is your computer out right now? But he's taking a quiz. Professor Carhenge, of course, is taking a quiz. Probably a history quiz about JFK or something.
Actually, it was visual storytelling on Adobe Illustrator. But thank you very much.
Would you put a picture of JFK on the screen?
I did not put a picture of JFK. I actually did put a picture of Liv Morgan and Braun Breaker, though, for my WWE assignment. No, here's the thing that you guys don't understand. I am a college student. I have to multitask. I'm on 3 different shows today. I'm on 2 Jagoffs, the Austin Carnes Show, and the We Are Family podcast. I got invited to it. Jake Bell, Peyton, and Nathan, they all host it, and they invited me on. So that I don't know when that's coming out, but they wanted me to recap the Super Bowl with them as well. This episode, Hall of Famer NAW, was pre-recorded a couple weeks ago. I'm telling you right now, Lucas, I have so much to do. I still have a 3-page paper to write when I get home. I'm not doing that now. I just had to get the 2 quizzes out of the way. And guess what? I got A's on both of them. Dab me up. Hell yeah.
Dab me up and then you put a fist bump up.
Okay, I'll dab you up. Matt Hardy, go back on the screen. No, I'm joking.
Yes, put Matt Hardy back on the screen. Matt Hardy is on the screen as we speak.
Austin, put a screenshot of my quiz that I just got an A on.
No one wants to see that. They think that they just lagged out or something.
Yeah, they're gonna think it's like, all they're seeing is Matt Hardy.
See, Matt Hardy is on the screen. So you just said it. So yeah, Matt Hardy.
He's not on the screen.
He is on the screen because you just said so. You just said all they're seeing is Matt Hardy.
It's Myles Garrett.
It's Matt Hardy.
Myles Garrett.
You can use like the same picture every time. Actually, that'd be lame. You have to put a different picture.
I'm not. No. It's the same picture, damn it. It's the
no, different ones.
It's the same
you have to use a different one for every cut.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Google search Matt Hardy and grab like the first like 25 photos that come up of him because you're gonna need 25 by the end of this episode.
How many more do you have left? 2, right?
2.
Okay, you're up. I still have 1 more, so yes.
Baron Corbin.
As Pat McAfee once said, bum ass, broke ass, Constable Baron Corbin. Nah. I hate to say it, man. It's nah. Listen, Baron Corbin, if he wasn't released, he would be a Hall of Famer because his time in the WWE, he's had memorable stories. Every character he was given, even if it was bad, he made it work. The Lone Wolf was awesome. When he was broke, when he was happy, when he was the modern day wrestling god with JBL, his run back in NXT, his tag team title run with Braun Breaker as the Wolf Dogs. That was some of the most entertainment thing I've ever seen. Braun Breaker, Baron Corbin barking at each other, calling each other little wolf dogs. It was awesome.
Can you put a picture of Braun Breaker on the screen real quick?
No, I'm not.
Yeah, I actually can.
No. Baron Corbin, to me, is one of the most underrated and most underutilized talent that the WWE has ever had. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. He can't be in the Hall of Fame, though. He has the moments. He doesn't really have the championships, though. He has a failed Money in the Bank cash-in, a U.S. title victory, and that's really about it. No.
Yeah, I'm not to agree with you, no.
I know you don't like Baron Corbin.
I never liked him.
That was easy for you. I've always liked Baron Corbin.
I mean, whenever you're talking about Hall of Fame or not, you can't really go personally, or else I would say not a Myles Garrett. But
yeah,
even not being biased, nah.
No.
Actually, Myles Garrett's a good dude. I just hate that he's on Cleveland. I might actually have more respect now he's leaving Cleveland, hopefully.
Like let's say he goes to Cincinnati or Baltimore, then you're gonna probably hate him even more.
Can you actually put a picture of Myles Garrett on the screen real quick?
Nope. You're up though. Final one.
I just went. I just gave you Baron Corbin.
Ready for my next one? You ready for my next one? What?
You thought it was my turn again.
I did.
And then you just tried to say it so calmly.
Because I'm usually the one giving you the wrestling ones, so it was whatever. Ricochet.
Nah. We're talking about WWE, right?
Yeah, WWE, not AEW, WWE.
I was gonna say, I don't really know anything about AEW, but for WWE, nah. He just wasn't there long enough, in my opinion. I don't think he had enough, padding to his resume.
I really wanted to disagree with you on this one. It's nah for me, too. I mean, here's the thing with Ricochet.
You thought I was gonna say yeah?
I thought you were going to say yeah. Look, he's a great seller, had great matches, but his WWE run was pretty bad, man. I mean, he was a former North American champion. He was a former United States champion. He was a former Intercontinental champion. He was a former tag champion with Braun Strowman as well. But listen, Ricochet, to me, his AEW run and him being a heel is much better than the last 2 years of what WWE was giving him. He's a great talent. He puts on great matches. The match in the Thunderdome with John Morrison. I mean, we don't talk about the Thunderdome era enough. John Morrison versus Ricochet. What a great match that was. There was incredible spots that we've never seen before. Although there was no fans in attendance, they stole the show in my eyes. And that was simply on an episode of Monday Night Raw. Ricochet's talent is week in and week out, but guess what? That doesn't immense amount of talent compared to other wrestlers. WWE Hall of Fame is pretty much let anybody in. That's what the WWE Hall of Fame is. This is one that's going to be held out, especially now that he's in AEW.
Ricochet was a slightly downgraded, not there as long Dolph Ziggler. He was able to sell. He was able to put on great matches. He had the move. He was very fast in the match. And just never got really used properly. Never really gave him a chance to show off.
Sucks. It really sucks. Here's what the best way to describe Ricochet. Untapped potential.
That's what Dolph Ziggler is too.
A lot of potential. Just never was there.
Ready for my last one?
I am ready for your last one.
Kane.
The Big Red Machine.
The brother of The Undertaker.
I hate to break it to you. He's already in the Hall of Fame. But if we're going to say it, but I will say he's a Hall of Famer. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. He's the one player that we did say today, one wrestler, I'm sorry, that is already in the Hall of Fame.
We've given stuff in the past that's already in the Hall of Fame. Just debated it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I forget which ones. There was a couple that were already in.
Well,
Jack Dean, go find him.
Yeah, Jack Dean, go find him. Listen, Kane has had an illustrious career. You can argue he's a 3-time Hall of Famer if you want. Brothers of Destruction with Undertaker, his solo career, and his tag team run as Team Hell No with Daniel Bryan. You could argue all three of those. You can even maybe make an argument for RVD and X-Pac. I mean, Kane has been a great wrestler. Masked Kane, unmasked Kane. The only Kane I really didn't care for was when he was a part of the Authority. That was the only one that
that was bad.
I didn't care for that side of Kane, but he still returned and teamed up with Daniel Bryan for a while. Then he was the Big Red Machine one last time, had one last hoorah. Now he's the mayor of Knox County, Tennessee. So, I mean, shout out to Glenn Jacobs for what he's doing.
That's interesting.
Very interesting. I disagree with everything he says, by the way. But Glenn Jacobs, as the wrestler, as the Big Red Machine, as Kane, Hall of Fame. The World Championships aren't there. You would be surprised for as long as a career as he had. but everybody knows Kane. And if you're like me when you were younger, you were scared of him. You were either in awe by him or you were terrified.
Hey, didn't
by
you
him.
check under your bed to see if Kane was there?
I thought Kane and the Undertaker was gonna come out from under my bed and drag me under like they did Randy Orton on SmackDown. I thought they were gonna drag me to
See, I
hell.
was never scared of them because I always liked Undertaker. I always thought Undertaker was such a cool guy.
See, that's what I'm saying. You were either in awe of them or you were terrified of them. You were one of the ones that was in awe. I was petrified.
Your nightmares are my happy place.
Yeah.
That's really sad to say. That's
They're
really, really
guess
weird
what?
to say.
They're right up there with Terrell Suggs.
What's your last one?
That was my last one. Ricochet was. Remember, I started the
Oh,
episode.
that's right.
I started the episode, so Kane was the last one. That was a great one to end it off on.
That was a great episode. We had a lot of really good talent.
That's the thing. We always say we really don't care about Hall of Fame or not, but it always ends up being good.
I think this actually might have been our best Hall of Famer now, to be honest.
You see-
There was some where it was kind of like,
You know, that's what we're saying in the promo. Best Hall of Famer now
best
of
Hall
all
of Famer
time.
now of all time.
Best Hall of Famer.
Best
now.
Hall of Famer now.
Best.
Best!
B-E-S-T. Best.
Matt
Matt Hardy. Oh,
Can you actually put a picture of Matt Hardy on the screen real quick for us?
Matt Hardy's gone, man. It's still Kane. It's still Kane.
Can you actually put a picture of Mayor Kane on the screen?
Mayor Kane.
Yeah, change it to that real quick.
Glenn Jacobs.
Yeah.
You want Glenn Jacobs on the screen?
Yeah.
Austin, for the final time, can you please put Mayor Glenn Jacobs, the mayor of Knox County, on the screen? There he is. Very cool. Look at the bald head. He got the nice red tie on. I mean, I hope it's a red tie. Austin, make sure it's a red tie.
What if there's like no images of him with red tie out there now?
There definitely is. He's a
You're going
he's a
to
Republican.
have to go like Photoshop it now. There's like good turn his
That's
tie
more
red.
editing. What's wrong with you? I'm already in Adobe Premiere. I don't need to go.
Well, it
to
has to be
Photoshop.
red. It has to be red now. You can't take back your red
All right,
ties.
well, there's red tie Kane, and then boom, we're on the two Jagoffs logo now to wrap up the episode. What a great episode that was.
That's a good episode.
Great episode.
Mhm.
I'm not putting any more people back on the screen. I see the smirk on your face, man. I gotta get home and do a 3-page paper. I'm not about to do all this editing now, too. What? Wait, what's that ring you're wearing?
It's a very nice ring.
Dude, I wish they were on camera. That's actually a sick-ass ring. What is
That's
that? Excuse my language. Let me see. I thought it was a class ring.
No,
That's nice. What, are you married?
it's on my right hand, on my left hand.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Idiot.
Idiot. That sounded so mean. You're like, idiot. You stupid idiot. What are you, Chris Jericho? You stupid idiot. You just made the list. By the way, that was the best.
This dummy kept his own list. I'm on it like 7 times.
I do have my own list. Listen, that was one of the best gimmicks ever. I don't care. Chris Jericho's list. That was.
I think I'm on it like 7 times.
You were on it more than 7 times. I can reassure you.
That's
that.
great.
Great episode though, Lucas. Lucas, do you have any final words for the Jaguars?
I do have a final word.
What's your final word?
So the logo's on the screen now.
No.
And the top, no. Keep the logo on. In the top right-hand corner, super small. Can you just put a picture of Matt Hardy? No, the top right corner, like really small, like just like super small.
He's gonna be in there for the rest of the episode.
No, just super small, top right-hand corner. Like the logo's still there though.
Austin, 3, 2, 1. By the way, this is the only time we're ever doing this. I'm not doing this every time. I'm gonna shut you down immediately. There's Matt Hardy. Super duper tiny. You have to probably zoom in. There's like a little speck in the top right hand corner.
You can barely see it.
You can see it. You can tell. You can see the hair.
Okay. That's just gonna say the rest of the episode.
It's
By the
gonna
way.
say the rest of the episode.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for turning into this very chaotic, interesting, and very weird episode of Hall of Fame or NAW. This was a great episode, man. This was a great episode. More interviews will be coming along the way here soon. I hope you guys are enjoying this ride as I am. I've been on several shows. The radio show is going great. This show is going great. Lucas, the social media has been nothing short of phenomenal, so keep up the good work there. And ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for all the support on YouTube and on all the platforms as well. Until next time on Two Jagoffs, I'm Austin Carnes, signing off. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.